Good morning to you, Van Dyke. It's probably Van Dyke, but good morning. Oh, and good morning to those on Twitch also. Keep in mind that if you go to the Facebook page, well, actually, in the link is the Facebook page if you want to hang out. But if you go to the YouTube, that's where you'll find extra videos and things like that. So now's our chance to remember, oh yeah, we get to take a break. Good morning, Whistle Jacket. Take that break, take a breath. It's so funny because it's like, I used to do meditation and things like that years ago. And until I started doing this, I'd forgotten about it. But it really does, just taking that break. Letting my shoulders droop before, just to relax. Listen to the cards like they are the waves. It's just good to remember to take 5 minutes away from our day. And breathe. I was just talking to somebody about cards and negative cards and positive cards and all these things. And it reminds me of something that somebody had told me a long time ago. And he'd said, life is full of crisis. It's just the last one that you don't survive. I was like, okay. But I never forgot about that. Life is full of crisis. It's just the last one that you don't survive. So, let's see what the universe has for us today. Any tips or tricks? Maybe show us any angers or anxieties that we can look at now before they arise sometime during our day or our evening here. And maybe if we focus on it now, which is part of the meditation, it's part of listening. Maybe if we focus inward now, we can see those things that trigger us. And maybe we can react differently and just surprise everybody. So, let's see what we have for the day. So I'm going to do my 3 and 1. But let's get our strings going out to the universe first. So here, each one of these is a different thread going out to the universe. It's a different string that pulls on the larger web. Whichever one we pull will be the conversation we have for the day. And it's that intuition that says, these top 4 cards, or these top 4 cards, or these top 4 cards are the conversation we should have. And today's Tuesday, so let's see what's right here on the surface. Let's see what's right at the top. Let the shoulders droop again. Yeah, that feels good. And we're just going to treat them as being blocked or something based on this story that we're coming out of. So, with the 10 of Wands, it really is. It's about taking all that burden and everything else on ourselves. When it's reversed, 10s are about completion. So you go 1 through 9, and that's actually when you're done. But 10s, 1 and 0, you're starting a new cycle. And so it's our choice what we want to do when we have that 10. If it's a job thing where we just keep on working and we take more and more on, that 10 of Wands can just last for the rest of our lives. But this is reverse, saying we know it's time for a new cycle. It's time to let go of that burden and move on. And so when we have the moon reversed, so generally with the moon, it's about, as I always say, when you're walking in the woods and it's twilight or it's dark out, and you see something hiding behind a tree over to your left, and you have that fear that goes with that. And so it's difficult to walk through the moon. But during the daylight, with the sun shining bright, that thing that you saw that was ready to pounce on you behind the tree the night before is actually just a log. So it's being able to see clearly. And so the moon is about intuition, and it's about knowing as we grow that intuitively in the night we can see that there's something there, but we can sense around us because we're open. So what this is saying here then is that we can expect to finally understand that we can let go of this burden. We're ready to look at our fears. We're ready to shine light on them. We're ready to understand that maybe there's been this lack of, we've worked so hard sometimes, we struggle so that we're just focused on the outside and not on the inside. And this is saying it's time to start looking on the inside, moving past our fears that have blocked us and kept us in the 10, or past the anxieties that we have, all that stuff that weighs for us. And until we do that, we're not going to be able to move on, because what is judgment? Judgment is rising up for something new. Judgment is XX. It's 10-10. So that is a new, brand new cycle. So this whole thing is about letting go, being stuck. So what is the advice card? Sevens are about moving forward, progress. And the Seven of Wands is about taking on those around you, that, because sevens are fire and energy. So if you're making a progress and you're moving forward, that means that you are doing what you need to do. But the wands and the swords are quote unquote heavy suits. You have your light suits, which are the pentacles and the cups. But all we're seeing here are majors and wands. So for the advice with this reversed, it's asking us, what are we fighting? What do we feel the need? Because when do we fight the most? When we have our fears. And a lot of time our fears are when we're just fighting ourselves. We take on the burden. We have our own anxieties that we need to walk through. And it's saying that we need to look at those today, or maybe be aware of them. And instead of taking it on as a challenge to fight, because it's easy to react. It's easy to jump up on a rock and defend ourselves. But it's not easy to go inside ourselves and ask, why do we react that way? So once we can start letting go of those burdens that we feel on ourselves, that instead of letting us take a breath, and instead of letting us let our shoulders droop, until we let go of the things that bunch us up and look at the cause, then we can't progress to the next level. So it's an everyday thing. We all have our stressors. This is just reminding us. Maybe instead of taking the burden on, to look at why we take the burden on so much. And is there something that we can actually challenge ourselves spiritually? It's just saying, what's the next step we want to take into moving to another level? Judgment really is we reap what we sow. So if we sow our own stress and anxieties and angers, then that's what we reap. And we don't move forward. But this is just saying that, if we can relieve ourselves of the stress and anxieties, then we find a different path. And that's the type of path that we want to try and go down. So, with that, oh yeah, and life is full of crises. It's just the last one we don't survive. So that fits good in here. So, thank you again. And tomorrow, 5:30 Eastern, me and Michael are doing our show, The Two of Wands, where we're going to take a look at the tens in the tarot. So that's very interesting. So we will actually be looking at this card and this card here. And as well as all the other tens that are in the tarot. 5:30 Eastern. So otherwise, I will be back here tomorrow at 7:15 Eastern again. Thanks again, everybody, and have an amazing, 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 wonderful day. And take care.